Welcome, MikeyVPT here for XLN Audio, the makers of Addictive Drums drum sample libraries. Now, electronic drums, you need to have something that you connect with, whether it's a combination of different drums and pads or just one type. You need to know what your type is. Now, today we're going to go through a couple different pads. We're going through the Roland PD-8 pad, it's a rubber pad, the Roland PDX-8 mesh pad, and the RET Stealth Pro drum with the traditional drum head. The kinds of things that we're looking for in our electronic drums are things like construction and durability, feel, how does it perform physically, acoustic volume of the actual drum. We're also looking at playability with software. How does it interact with the software? All of these things factor into determining what your type is. So we're going to dive in, we're going to start off with the acoustic volume test. Now if you live in an apartment or someplace that has confined quarters that you don't need a lot of acoustic volume, here you'll be able to test out and kind of see and hear firsthand what these drums sound like. Next we're going to go into how bouncy are these drums? What does it feel like? Is it more acoustic in nature? Maybe I don't play so hard, so I need something a little bit bouncy. Maybe I play really fast and I need something to control myself. Maybe there's a drum or a pad here that will reduce the amount of bounce. Third, what does it look like? Maybe I need something that's going to look fantastic on stage or give me a certain look, maybe an electronica kind of look. What does it look like? How is it constructed? What's the durability like? And finally, I think maybe most importantly, how does it work with the software? You know, if it doesn't trigger properly or if it doesn't feel right when you play, it's not going to make sense for you as a drummer. It's not going to respond as if you were playing your acoustic drums. Now, with drum software being so good and so many people already using it to replace their acoustic drum sounds, now we can play it directly. There's no middle work, there's no guessing, there's no splicing and chopping. It's physically playing it. Here you can, as a drummer, play your beats, put your feel and your style into it. Or as a producer or an engineer or a studio owner, having some fantastic drummers come into your studio, lay down some tracks, and you're ready to play. So let's get started with the acoustic volume test. Now you'll find that generally with rubber pads like the Roland PD-8, you'll find that the harder you play, the more acoustic volume there is. I think that's natural for just about anything. Obviously it's nowhere near the volume of an acoustic drum, which is a great plus, but it is not as quiet, let's say, as the mesh pads. Those will offer obviously a more subdued attack sound. Now the other two, the traditional head on the RET snare and the Roland PD-8 pad, are not loud by any means, but they're not as quiet as the mesh pad. Now the bounce test is pretty simple. I take the stick straight up in the air with 2 fingers, I let it bounce. That way I can really determine what am I getting out of this drum. Sure, when I physically play those fast doubles, I'll feel it anyway, but this way it gives me a visual as to how bouncy or how accurate it will be to my acoustic set at home. So let's have a look. The rubber pad is a little more dense, also adding to its durability. However, it doesn't quite match the same sticking as an acoustic drum. Here you can see that the mesh pad, although quieter, will offer more bounces. Now this can be a great thing if you're a player that can't quite get the double stroke roll or something really quick around the kit. The RET Stealth Pro snare is very acoustic in nature, great for players that are acoustic in nature that want to transfer over to electronic drums. Now let's take a look at the construction of these drums. How it's made is going to determine greatly the durability of the instrument. So you want to make sure that your instrument is the best quality that you can get. Let's take a quick look on the outside, the top, and the underside of all of these drums. All right, I think the moment that most of us have been waiting for is to see how these drums interact with the drum software. Now, if you're new to drum software or electronic drums in general, basically this is the next step, the evolution of electronic drums. Instead of triggering from modules, now we're triggering from our laptop, which we have at home anyway. What this allows us to do is hold bigger sounds, more authentic acoustic sounding sounds, right there in our laptop. Okay, first up we have the Roland PD-8 rubber pad. Now onto the Roland PDX-8 pad. And finally, the Stealth Pro snare. This one also dual zone, has the traditional Evans G2 coated head. Now to recap, if you're looking for something a little bit more lively playing or something quieter, go for the mesh head. If you're looking for something maybe a little bit more basic or something that is a little bit more dense, not as bouncy, go with the rubber pad. If you're looking for something that feels and looks more like an acoustic drum, go for the traditional head. Thanks so much for watching. This is MikeyVPT signing out for XLN Audio. Take care and we'll see you next time.